When I was a kid, all I ever wanted to be was a superhero. Someone that could quote unquote save the world. Superman, the Power Rangers, even Green frickin' Lantern. I wanted to be like all of them. And let me tell you, I took this dream very seriously. There was this one instance when I was having dinner with my entire family and I wasn't eating my vegetables. So my dad, he turned to me and he said, "Hey Aaron, you know if you eat these cucumbers, you get super speed, right?" And I said, "What? Why didn't you tell me this before?" So I munched up all of those cucumbers. I stood up, got away from the dinner table, and I ran around the house. And I ran back to this dining table. And then I asked my dad, "Hey, how fast was that? Do I have super speed now?" And then my dad was like, "Oh yeah, you definitely have super speed." So I was like, whoa, it really does work. So I asked my dad again, "What'll happen to me if I eat these red bell peppers?" And then my dad said, "You'll get Red Ranger powers." Then I looked back at him and I said, "Come on, Dad, if I eat these red bell peppers, I'm gonna have Red Ranger powers, you're telling me?" That makes total sense. So I ate all of those red bell peppers on that plate that day. In another instance, I was alone in the living room and I had the idea, I should pray to God for the ability of flight. So I stood up on top of my couch that was like 2 feet off of the ground. I stood up and I prayed the hardest prayer of my life. I was like shaking all my muscles, flexing as if it would make a difference in the prayer. And after I was done praying, I slowly opened my eyes. I looked far ahead into the distance and I jumped off that couch. I fucking thudded on the floor and then I scared my mom. But this just showed how serious I was about my dream of becoming a superhero. Obviously the dream died and many years pass. And I was in my first year of engineering school. I was about, I think it was 19 years old. And I was outside one day just pondering about my entire life because I had just gone through a breakup and I was in my feels, deep in my thoughts. And I remembered these memories, these stories that I just told you about me eating vegetables to become a superhero, me praying to become a superhero. And I just laughed at it. I couldn't help but chuckle out of how innocent I used to be. And I thought to myself, damn, it would be really cool to be someone that could save the world, despite the fact of how silly it sounded. And then I thought to myself, what careers out there are actually closest to being someone who could save the world, to being a superhero? I thought, oh, police, firefighters, all of these guys are badass. And doctors, they literally save human lives. And I thought to myself, who are the villains of this world that are threatening to destroy the entire world? The dinosaurs were extinct by an asteroid or something, right? So asteroids are a villain. Climate change right now, that's a pretty big villain. Water scarcity, air pollution, all of this stuff. This could potentially end all life on Earth. Then I thought, who are the people that will stop these quote-unquote real-world villains? I thought, people that invent. Engineers. Engineers are problem solvers. And I was like, wait, I'm an engineering student. I'm studying mechanical engineering right now. You're telling me that I'm studying a degree that is potentially, arguably, in my opinion, the most heroic out of all careers out there? What the fuck? This realization actually made me like tweak out because the main reason that I enrolled to engineering school wasn't because it was so heroic. I didn't even fucking know what engineering was. The only reason I enrolled into engineering was because people said, oh, you can make a lot of money and you just got to be good at math and physics and you just build things. I didn't know what the fuck engineering was. I was just doing it for some shallow reason. And here I was after this breakup, having deep thoughts about my life purpose. And there it was, engineering. At this point in my life, I was 4 months into engineering school, and I was what I call a quote-unquote pretengineer, somebody that doesn't do engineering correctly by my standards. They skip lectures and take shortcuts. And this is the point that I started to take engineering seriously because I saw real purpose in such a degree. So I stopped skipping lectures. I cut off all the friends that were using ChatGPT and Chegg, not for a tool, but as a way to cheat. Okay, they were openly cheating about it and they were proud of it. So I slowly started to cut those guys off. Eventually, I started to make my own personal projects in my own free time and therefore develop my skills as an engineer. I started to think about the purpose, the sorts of problems that I wanted to solve as an engineer, and think of the industry that I'd like to enter. And eventually I started applying for internships. I started nailing internships. As a matter of fact, I got my very first internship in 2 weeks. I was nailing interviews, nailing all of these applications. And I'm working in that internship right now. And to add to that, I started this YouTube channel, Aaron Mechanical. And on top of that, I also mentor engineering students like you who are passionate. And the link is in the description if you want to check it out. But it's just goes to show how much you actually do and how much you lock in after you determine your purpose in engineering. I'm putting in fucking 70-hour work weeks, taking into consideration my internship, the video editing in this, the script writing out all of these videos, the mentorship inside of the program that I mentioned earlier, linked down in the description. I've become so fucking serious about engineering. What villain do you want to fight? What quote-unquote villain do you want to fight? Is it planetary protection, asteroids? Look into aerospace. Climate change, in that case, look into decarbonization. Human disability, in that case, look into biomedical engineering. Fossil fuel dependence, look into renewables. Pollution, look into environmental engineering. Unclean water, look into water resource management. What kind of engineer do you want to be? Because engineers are quite literally the ones that will solve all of these world-threatening problems like asteroids hitting the Earth, climate change, fucking carbonization in the air, pollution, all of these types of problems that this world is threatened by. Look at all of these protests that are happening around the world due to climate change. These are real world problems that have the potential to wipe out life, some forms of life, potentially all forms of life on Earth. And right now, you as an engineering student, you who I'm talking to right now, yes, you're an engineering student, therefore, you're an engineer of tomorrow who will one day have to develop the solutions to such problems, because engineers are the greatest problem solvers on the face of this earth. So study engineering like the world depends on it, because it does. Lastly, if you agreed with me, either subscribe so that you could hear more advice from me. Click the link in the description if you want to check out my program and get more mentorship by me. And if not, you could just like and leave a comment so that more people can listen to this message that I'm trying to spread, that engineering is important and that all engineering students should find purpose and that all engineering students should develop their passion towards such an important degree. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.